Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me here, my name is Yashika Turner. Now, in today's video, we have a very important topic, which is single parent moving here to Canada. Moving, relocating is a huge transition, a big change. And especially if you're a single mom, single parent doing this huge life transition on your own, it is indeed a stressful transition. But fear not, because in today's video, I will be providing you with some valuable skills and tips you will need as a single mom to prepare yourself for transitioning, migrating here to Canada, to the Great White North. Are you ready for it? Let's get right into it. Number one. Now, before you consider making this big move, research and preparation is the key to a successful transition. Now, here are some things that you need to consider while you're doing your research and your preparation. First thing you need to understand is the Canadian immigration process. Now, do your research to search and to identify which route of migrating here to Canada is best for your ideal needs. So you know that you have this Canadian Skilled Workers Program, the Nominees Program, and different programs here in Canada to migrate here. Now, disclaimer, I'm not an immigration lawyer. I am just helping you and guiding you because I myself moved here to Canada 12 years ago as a single mom. And I'm just going backtracking to help you, my single mom sisters, to make this step successfully. So go ahead and research a Canadian government and the rules and the regulations and all the stuff you need to prepare for this application to move to Canada. So next, after you do your research and you gather all the information you need to start your process, now you're going to gather all the important documents needed to apply for your Canadian immigration process. Now, documents you might need would include like your legal documents for yourself and your children, birth certificate, medical records, immunization records, or any custody or legal documents regarding your child. One of my subscribers recently asked if it is required to have the father's signature, like a letter with the father's signature giving permission, legal permission to travel with that child. And of course, oftentimes Canadian immigration would require this document. So it is important to get a letter signed by the father to say that he is in agreement and he gives you permission to travel with this child. So it is important to gather all that information. When I was moving with my daughter, I had that done. I prepared a letter and he signed that letter to give consent. They didn't ask for it while I was traveling with her, but I submitted the documents when I was doing the application. So look and see if this document is still required and have it to be prepared. So next, once you decide that you want to migrate here to Canada, now it is your responsibility to decide where are you going to live. Where are you going to settle here in Canada? Canada is huge. We have so many different provinces and so many different cities. I previously did a video before on the top places of where you should live. I'll list it right here for you to go and watch that video. Now, so you will now start your action planning. Where are you going to live? Do you have family? Do you have friends? Do you have a support system in a specific city or a specific province? Start doing your research. While you're at that research, start researching schools for your children or your child. So now here in Canada, there are different types of schools. So you do your research to see which type of school is ideal for the age of your child and your child's specific needs. Now, I also included in that, in a previous video, the things that you will need as a single mom as a mom, actually, landing here in Canada as a newcomer, of the things that you will need when you're applying for your child to enter into school, right? So of course you need their birth certificate. They will need the address because it goes by zoning. So you'll need the address to find the closest school in that zone or in that neighborhood. So if you want a specific school, especially if your child has special needs, go ahead and do your research to be prepared and familiarize yourself with what to expect when you come with the education system as your child develops and grows. And also, again, While you're at it and doing your research about the schools, ensure to do your research about the neighborhoods. Now, just like anywhere else in the world, Canada has good spots and bad spots. So you want to ensure that wherever you're landing, the specific area that you're settling is a safe neighborhood, safe for your kids, you know, close to schools, close to parks, and close to amenities that you will need to cater for your family as a single mom and your child, right? So you are a family, right? So research the neighborhoods, see what's available, what's close by, the amenities, and all that good stuff, because safety is important. You don't want to come to Canada and you land into an area that is not safe, area where there's drugs, where there's violence, where there's high theft. So you have to do your research and to ensure that wherever you're going, it is safe. Got it? While you're at it, have you subscribed to this channel as yet? I know my biggest, most popular video is for you, my single moms, and I notice you all are watching it, but you're not subscribing. Please go ahead and subscribe right now. While you're at it, hit the notification bell so you won't miss my next videos to come. Have you subscribed? Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. Let's keep going. Next up is support and network, which I constantly talk about in my videos here on this channel. You will need support. Yes, as a single mom, you will need support. At times we try to do it by ourselves, but sometimes we cannot manage to do it by yourselves. So you, my friend, need to reach out, need to research and find support groups, network systems before you arrive here in Canada. I have a Facebook group. Feel free to go ahead and join that Facebook group. When you join the Facebook group, don't be quiet, don't be shy. Ask questions for others to help you and to guide you along your journey. So go ahead and find your support systems. Ask questions, network with people. If you know of a family or a friend that's already here in Canada, give them a call, hook them up, tell them that you're coming to Canada. At times, people keep it as a big secret. They don't want anybody to know that you're moving, you're taking a next level in life, and they keep it hush hush. No, that can be a negative, a pro or a con for you, right? Depends on the situation. I remembered when I was coming here to Canada as a single mom, and when I was starting my process, I knew that I'm a single mom. I will need support. I will need networking. So you know what I did? I told all my friends, hey, I'm coming to Canada. Are you coming or not? And you know what? A lot of them applied and we all came together. I came here first, and a few months after, my other friends came, you know, months after the other and the other. And with that support system, we all form a community and a network system, and that's now my Canadian family here as family, friends with my kids, with their kids. So if you're planning on coming, reach out to a friend, reach out to someone who you know might need, you know, that restart in life just like you do. Don't keep it to yourself. Share the information and encourage them to come along with you so you can create your own support system and create your own tribe of women. Wouldn't that be wouldn't that be lovely if everybody would just do that, collaborate and work together in unity, and not, you know, you see an opportunity and you keep it by yourself. No, let's not be selfish about it, because we all have to thrive together. So go ahead and find your support system. If you can't find any, create one for yourself. Now, next thing is to seek professional assistance. As I did mention, I am not a immigration consultant or a lawyer. So while you're going through this process, seek legal advice. If you have to pay an immigration consultant, if you have to pay a lawyer, then go ahead and seek professional advice. When I was moving here, I came with the Canadian Skilled Workers Program. I did not use a lawyer. I did not use an immigration consultant. I followed the steps and the process by another friend of mine. She guided me along the process. So you can choose. You can choose to do it yourself, or you can choose to invest in a lawyer or an immigration consultant. But it's best to ask these professionals, these expertise questions to guide you along the way and to prevent any hiccups or roadblocks along the way. It helps to speed up the process and to alleviate the stress and the unknown and the fear. So reach out. Now, let's talk about finances. Financial planning is a huge part, a huge component in your transition, restarting a brand new life here in Canada. So you need to figure out your finances, look into your budget, look into the fees, all the fees that are involved in the application process. I remember when I was doing the Canadian Skilled Workers Program as a registered nurse, the Canadian Skilled Workers Program, you have different occupations that are eligible to apply for permanent residence here. That's the process that I use to migrate here to Canada. Now, with that process, you need proof of funds, depending on how many family members are joining you. So if it is one child, two or three children, then you have to calculate that to make sure that you have the money, proof of funds when you're traveling here to Canada. Because when you apply, they're going to ask and request that proof of funds. And when you land, chances are they will ask you to show also that proof of funds. Now, you will need to create a budget of your landing, planning ahead of time. Create a list of expenses of what you expect. I recently did a video of the cost of living here in Hamilton, Ontario. I did a previous video in the past of the cost of living in Canada overall. But I recently did this one regarding Hamilton, Ontario, right? So while you go over this video, you can go ahead and watch it after this one. I did mention the cost of rent when it comes on to real estate, rent, the cost of groceries, the cost of bills. I did not mention the cost of daycare, which is now around between $50 to $60 per day for daycare. So if you have a child under 4 years old, you will need daycare because here in Canada, children start school at age 4. They start kindergarten, junior kindergarten, then go to senior kindergarten. So if your child is under 4, you have to factor that in and budget for daycare. Budget for food. I did mention that the average cost of food per person here right now with the recession and everything that's going on, yes, cost of living is expensive. It's a lot. So factor in approximately $250 per week per person for food, right? I'm not going to tell you everything. Go ahead and watch a video and you will see the breakdown of the bills and the expenses of what to expect here in Canada, especially Hamilton, Ontario. Now, while we're talking about finances, of course, you have to get income, right? You're coming here for a better life. So now you have to explore the job market. What is your occupation? Explore jobs that are available in your expertise, right? If you're a nurse, then there are lots of nursing jobs here in Canada. Go ahead and do your research. Go on Indeed.com, Workopolis.com, and all that stuff, just to have an idea of the income, what to expect, so you can create your budget and analyze, weigh the income coming in and the money that you will expect to pay out, so that you are more prepared. So when you come to Canada, you're not surprised by all the bills, you're not surprised by the income you're receiving. So you have your full plan laid out as a single mom, so you're not stressed or overwhelmed when you land here in Canada. There are Canadian child tax benefit that you will receive, and this again is factored depending on your income. So they will do a calculation to see your income, and based on your income, each child will be eligible for a monthly payment. So all that stuff, research all that stuff. So go on the Canadian website and do your research to find about the benefits involved for a single parent moving to Canada as a newcomer. Okay, so that is important to do before coming to Canada. I did a book. Have you seen my book around? I did a book of what to expect when moving to Canada. In that book, I break down like all the steps you will need and every other, other thing that I haven't mentioned here on the channel. So if you want a copy, go ahead and purchase the book. It's available on Amazon. You can purchase it via Kindle or the hard copy. So go ahead and get that book. It will break down more details and more information for you. Next thing you will need to do is to learn about the Canadian healthcare system. Learn about it, especially if your child has medical needs. If your child will need, medical attention, suffering from any illnesses or any diseases like that, then you go ahead and be prepared. You don't want to land in Canada and then you're not familiar with the healthcare system, right? So when you come in Canada here, each person, we have a family doctor. At times, it's hard to get into a family doctor. So at times, you have to go to a walk-in clinic, the urgent care, the emergency room in the hospital, right? But if you do your research, you maybe can apply ahead of time, apply for a health card. When you land here in Canada, it takes, I think, 3 months after landing, you're eligible for a health card. And during work, also, you can get insurance benefit for health insurance and all that stuff. Familiarize yourself with the health system here in Canada because that is so very important, right? And last but not least, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions along the process. Don't be afraid to reach out to a family or a friend when you're feeling overwhelmed through this process. I also did a previous video on, the stressors involved as a single parent moving here to Canada, and it can be overwhelming. It can be stressful. So for you, my friend, my single mom, you will need support for you. You will need to ask questions to prevent the stress and to prevent the overwhelm of all that's going on. Have a good friend who you can call to vent. Have a friend who you can call for advice. Have a friend who you can call to cry with and to laugh with. But don't be afraid to ask questions. If you see, when you land here in Canada, if you see other persons in the neighborhood, ask questions, because by asking questions, you might find somebody to take care of your child. You might find a care provider. You can find persons who can give you more information. You can find persons who you can be friends with to support you. So don't be afraid to ask questions during the process and even after landing here in Canada. Now, that's all I have for you for today. And please remember, migrating here to Canada can be very rewarding and can be a stressful process at the same time. But if you are prepared, if you do your research and you do your adequate planning in advance, you will have a smoother transition for you and for your child. Now, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscription button so other single moms can see this video. If you didn't like it yet, go and hit the like button right now to, other persons can see it. YouTube can see that you're enjoying these videos and share it with others who need this information. And I will put the link right here for my previous video that I did around the stressors involved in single parenting. So that's it. Those are my steps for your easier, smoother transitioning moving to Canada as a single mom. Bye for now.